Oh, all right. So we are going to see who streams in here. So my name is Billy Hookman. I am the Vice President of Nutrition and Communication for Green Juju. Please let us know when you arrive. It looks like some people are starting to come in. So we would love for you guys to tell us you're here. So, and we are using a new, there we go. We can start to see the comments. Awesome. We are using a new system here. So, bear with us a little bit. So today I'm very lucky and privileged to have the owner and founder of Green Juju and my boss, Kelly Marion here.
So happy to be here with you today. Oh, I should turn off my email.
So it looks like, yes, we are getting a bunch of people who are very excited to be here. And so keep in mind, this is different. We do our monthly lives where we take questions, but this is a different format because we are going to be announcing some new products this week. So you are obviously here now watching this, but we will also be here tomorrow at 7 and then Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Or 4.
Or 4 p.m. Pacific, which you're lucky if you're on the 4 side of things. And we are going to be here announcing a new product each night. We're really super excited to show you guys what we got going on. So with that, and I'll keep an eye on the comments here. So with that, Kelly, why don't you take it away a little bit in terms of this new product that we're going to be talking about tonight.
So this new product, yet to be revealed, is something that we are very, very excited about because it is the perfect collaboration of my experience of almost 8 or 9 years in working with plants and Billy's decade of experience in working with fermentation. So this was a really, really fun project because we both just got to bring what we had to the table and collaborate and make something really, really unique, and something that I think is going to be really beneficial for a lot of pets. We've both had the privilege of feeding it to our pets for a few months now and have been able to see the benefits that it's had. And I just think this is going to be something really exciting, new, unique, and it brings both of our talents into one product.
And I would kind of echo those comments too. Having come on last June and having worked with you on some of the products we released last fall, but you were sort of already in development on those. And so I like to sort of, contribute what I could there. But yeah, I like to say this is starting at zero and just developing this together was definitely a cool experience. And I think it really just epitomized what, our collaboration at your company is, and why I joined and in the first place. So that is amazing. So are we going to go ahead and introduce this and talk about it?
Should I get the star of the product first?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Absolutely, 100%. So Kelly's going to go get, you might notice a theme, over the coming days here, but Kelly's going to get, you guys know that we already have a product called Bailey's Blend, which is an amazing green blend, which ferments in the refrigerator. So Irene is very excited, and Kristen says do it to get the inspiration for this product here. To be able to do that. So this is, tell us a little bit about Bam.
Well, Bam has been asleep for the past 7 hours, so she's a little groggy. But Bambi is my 12-year-old French bulldog, and she is just the best little thing ever. Our holistic vet says she's the healthiest Frenchie she's ever seen, so that makes me feel good. But this product is dedicated to her.
Alrighty. So should we, I mean, the people are speaking, so we should just probably get into it as well. So
get into it.
So the first of the new products that we are to be debuting this week that we are proud of is, let's get this up here, is Bam's Beets. So Bam's Beets is a blend of fermented is raw fermented beets and purple cabbage. So we're taking organic beets and purple cabbage, and we are fermenting them for 7 days. This is a wild ferment, which is going to be a really cool concept, which we will be talking about here, which means that you are bringing down the pH by adding sea salt, which is a great source of minerals. And you're just letting the natural bacteria in the cabbage and the beets come out. So we're not inoculating this with a culture. So we are going to, so this again is wild ferment, and it's a mixture of both. And this also includes the brine as well. So when you ferment things, the water actually, the brine absorbs some of the minerals, the bacteria, the vitamins, the antioxidants. So this is going to have the brine as well. So it has this really great consistency. You can see the packaging here with the spout on top. So we can actually push this through the top to be able to do that. So anything you want to add right off the bat, Kelly?
I would just say, I think what I really like about this product is that since it's wild ferment, every batch is going to have a different and diverse group of probiotics. So as opposed, yeah, there you go. That's all backwards though.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know how to fix that.
so as opposed to feeding some like a product that has probiotics added to it, which are certain strains, which you're going to feed over and over and over, this is going to be, since it's wild and natural, it's going to be different and diverse every time, which is what the microbiome actually needs. Because if you're feeding the same probiotics all the time, then you get too much of that in the gut and it gets off balance. So this is going to naturally just be more diverse. And somebody asked if this is frozen, and this is frozen.
Yes, it is frozen. That's a very good point about probiotics, because of the fact that one of the themes you're going to notice, I think, just with Green Juju in general, is building microbiomes and differing probiotic sources. So probiotics are, the food you feed your pet as well as yourself, but the food you feed your pet and also the environment that they're in. So we want to get as many strains as possible. So I just think it's really cool that these particular batches are going to differ in those probiotics, like you said. So if you're feeding this consistently, you're going to get different probiotic types, but you're also going to get something that we talk about all the time here, which is really deep, different antioxidant colors, right? So you're getting the deep sort of purple antioxidants in the beets and also in the purple cabbage itself. The other thing that comes to mind as well is this is not only great for the microbiome because of the fact that you're inoculating it with these wild cultures and providing that fiber, but the purple cabbage and cabbage in general has something called vitamin U, which is sort of like a sulfur containing vitamin substance that actually is really great for ulcers and the stomach lining just in general. So you're getting a lot of health benefits, in these two vegetables in this product. Kelly, how might we incorporate this with some of the other Green Juju products?
First, I wanted to talk about something else, but I'll get back
Yeah,
to that.
for sure.
This reminds me of probably 8 years ago when I had my beet blend, remember, that I made just when I was just local in Seattle, and I did those seasonal blends, and I made a beet blend. And you and I were talking about the beet blend and how great it was, but how it was only available for a short period of time because beets have such high sugar. I didn't want people feeding that much beet year round, you know? And so I remember asking you, like, well, could I ferment it? And would that help? And you're like, well, you can't really ferment part of it. Like, it would ferment the whole thing. And that might take, like, And we were kind of playing around with this idea so long ago. And here we are with this product that is just fermented beets and purple cabbage. Somebody in here asked if there's bone broth. No, there isn't any bone broth. It's just the brine, beets, cabbage, sea salt. But anyway, so it just kind of, I thought it was kind of funny that it came full circle to a conversation we had so long ago. But to answer your question of how do we feed this, so this can be added to any type of diet, just like our other blends can. It can go on a raw, freeze-dried, dehydrated, kibble, any type of diet. You can pair it with one of our other blends. You can pair it with a bone broth. You can pair it with our freeze-dried bites. You could pair it with a goat's milk or kefir. It has really small, it's very potent. So it's a small serving size and it can really go in any diet that you're feeding.
Absolutely. And just to recap again, in case people are coming in now that weren't here in the beginning, just to reiterate how the product is made because of the question about the bone broth. So these beets and this purple cabbage are fermented for 7 days, and then we are keeping the brine in it as well to get this great sort of scoopable and or into like a measuring spoon consistency as well, to be able to do that. So I was re-explaining that and then completely lost my train of thought. So that's awesome.
Somebody
So
asked if it can be gassy. That hasn't, I have a bulldog, so we have some experience with gas. But no, I would not say that it's gassy. And I think that's due to the fermentation breaking down the cabbage, which typically is where we think of gas coming from. But no, I do not think so.
that's a very good point. And it leads kind of into another benefit of this product. Because we use fermentation as a word like, oh, fermentation, that's a good thing. But remember, fermentation is so most of the time in these blends, like, so for instance, in our fresh blends, like if you take just greens, we're breaking down that material by juicing it and then adding the pulp back so it remains in a raw food state. So this is a different way of breaking that down. So the way that we're breaking this down to make it more digestible is by fermentation, which means all of that bacteria is going to eat and process those starches and sugars and make them more accessible, make the food more accessible. It also adds extra vitamins, especially B vitamins. It adds extra organic acids, extra enzymes in terms of digestion. So all of those things, obviously, highly beneficial in the BAMS beets. So Kelly, is there any other last thing you might want to say about this product before we go?
I just want to address a couple things that I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
pop up here. Uh, this is definitely something to address. Somebody says, in our experience of using it over the past couple months, is what goes in the same color as what goes out. And that's a very important thing to know when feeding beets, that it can cause pink pee or red poop. In my experience with this, that hasn't been the case because since this is a fermented product, you're using a very small amount. So I haven't noticed that. Not to say that it couldn't happen with some animals because every animal's different. If it does happen, it's totally harmless and nothing to worry about, but beets do have that effect. Um, how long is it good in the fridge? About 30 days, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
what, yep. So once thawed, about 30 days. Again, since it's fermented, it lasts longer. Um, Serving size, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's on the packaging and it will come out soon. We'll also be posting some more info about all this soon. But yeah, I would say I'm just really excited to have this collaboration of plants and fermentation, and I think it's going to be really beneficial. We did on the test, we found out that there was 20 billion probiotics per teaspoon or tablespoon.
Yes. 20. So the probiotic content is, uh, we have it listed per ounce. And that's
It's 20
actually,
per ounce.
well, it's about 20 million per ounce. Now, I know people might be saying to themselves, why is it million versus billion? But that's actually a really good question to address because in nature, usually depending on the ferment, it's not like feeding a supplement where you're concentrating bacteria. What it is it's those bacteria being produced in the environment that they sort of evolved to be produced in. So you get more bang for your buck to be able to do that. So they're more effective because they set up better in the gut. They last longer, these soil-based probiotics. So it's not always about the amount. There is a strong amount, but it's not always about the amount. It's about the usefulness of those bacteria. Um, so with my own dog and building, his probiotic content, I've been using this every day and getting a lot of great results in that way.
So we will have our monthly live will be on May 17th this month, and we will be focusing on all the new products that we're announcing this week. Um, So we will go over all of your questions then and the products themselves. But yeah, I think for now, these products will be shipping mid-May. They should be hitting our distributors by the end of the month and in stores shortly after that.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, make sure you guys come back tomorrow. Same time, same place, because we are going to be introducing product number 2, which we're as excited to show you. So we will see you guys tomorrow, and see you then.